adjust the camera, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't realize it was out of kilter. Here we go. How's this? No, that's not good. Oh wait, there it is. That's perfect. Hi everybody. Happy Thanksgiving Day Eve, also known in Buffalo, at least, as Amateur Night. Is it called Amateur Night in your town? It got that name because, of course, Buffalo famous as a bar and drinking town. Amateur Night. Mr. London, nice to see you, sir. Great. You're so punctual tonight. You must have a good signal. Anyway, this evening before Thanksgiving in Buffalo, and you can tell me if it's this way in your town, has always been called Amateur Night because when you go out to the bars on the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, then it's not just the regular bar goers whose faces you're the professionals, but it's the people that go out once a year because they're home for Thanksgiving or their friends are in town, or it's just a thing to do. So happy Amateur Night. Now, I think tonight is a special Amateur Night in the bars because we're basically locked down. I'll know when I go home. I'm a block from the core bar district in Buffalo, in downtown Buffalo. Usually you see spillover. I don't see any, it just looks like any other dead COVID night. But Chippewa's right up the street, and I'm definitely gonna turn my head to look when I cross the intersection to see if the amateurs are out. Yeah, I did start a little early tonight. Of course, here at Lounge Academy, every night is amateur night. Otherwise, it would not be an academy, right? That's what academy is for. See, I just proved it. My name's Howard. I will be your practicing pianist tonight. My sidekick is Mr. London. Broadcast emanates from downtown Buffalo, New York, on Amateur Night and every other night that we broadcast during the year. The time is, the date, again, is 11/25, the fabulous year of 2020. Keeps getting better and better. I almost don't want it to end. It might not end. We're students of fine jazz and culture. Mr. London has a way with words. Of course, he's written like 50 books. I haven't even colored 50 books. He's so well read, he knows the Dewey Decimal System by heart. The time is 9:32 p.m. local time. That's local lounge time here in Buffalo. Also known as the Lounge Town. Freedom City, Buffalo, New York. Mood tonight. I'm always in a good mood though, right? But there's various rarely in a bad mood. I don't know if I'm ever in a bad mood. But there's various stages of good moods. And I'm in a pretty good mood today. Maybe because I was on the local TV news tonight. And I guess it wasn't horrible, so that makes me happy. I knew it wouldn't be horrible, though. Although, that doesn't mean it can't be. I have not seen it, though, because I'm horrible whenever I'm fortunate enough to be reported on TV. I always miss the show. I even tried to watch it, and I watched the whole show, and I wasn't on. And then I found out I was on at the beginning. We were like the lead story in the news. And that's the secret project, Mr. London. That's what it was about. And I've heard that most of the 2-minute segment was about my sink, which I'm very proud of my sink. So I'm kind of glad it got the lion's share of the airtime. Oh, my sink. Let's take a drink. Of course, we're starting out in a good mood here. I'm sure we'll finish up in one. But along the way, we're going to traverse the rocky road of random songs from the Great American Songbook, which, as we know, are, what would you call that? Bipolar. These songs are bipolar, so these test your resolve of being in a good mood, because some of them are very happy, of falling in love and great, she loves you back and you just feel great. Then you flip the page and do the next song, and then she kicked you in the ass and you're just down in the dumps. There's very little in between with these great songs. The great songs of the Broadway and jazz period. Mr. London can phrase that much better than I can. That's why he's my mouthpiece. Here's one we've never done. I just flipped this book all the way to the back where the pages were kind of fossilized and reoriented the thing, and it's like there's some undiscovered gems back here that are not undiscovered by the world at large. They're bipolar. Isn't that a great way is that exactly what they are, Mr. London? You'd be so nice to come home to. This goes out to everybody that owns a cat. Mr. London owns cats, so you know what I'm talking about. Oh, you'd be so nice to come home to. You'd be so nice by the fire, while the breeze on high sings that lullaby. You'd be so I could desire, under stars chilled by the winter, under August moon burning above. You'd be so nice That, of course, is Cole Porter writing about his cat. From Something to Shout About. You're right, Cole Porter. He's got 3 of them. I could see how you could have a lot of cats. Yeah, I'm kind of a late bloomer with cats. I didn't own a cat until 5 years ago. Never thought I'd be a cat man. How would I know? But boy, are they great. I love cats. And I can see how people wind up being crazy cat people with tons of cats, because each one you encounter, you just, it's like the first time. And they're like pistachio nuts, so you figure, well, I'll just save this next cat, and then I'll be happy, and we'll all be happy. Jeffrey is 6 years old. He was almost a year old when we got him. He was a stray that broke into a friend of a friend's home while she was on vacation, after he rode a freight train into her backyard. But anyway, you think, like, I go to the pet shop to buy food for Jeffrey. My cat Jeffrey is his name, and named after the poet of the poem of the same name. It's a great poem. You could look it up. And Jeffrey's an orange cat. So when I go to buy him food, they've got cats in cages, and you have to walk by them, you know, and it's like you fall in love. I see. Well, it's nice they're all family. That way they have an excuse to fight. Oh, so they're nice young cats, 4 years old and 5. Yeah, still lots of fun. Lots of fun in cats that age, I know now from experience. But I could see how it's insatiable. So you think you're going to get one more, and then it doesn't help. It doesn't help. You're like a playboy, but with cats instead of beautiful women. Which is probably better, cheaper, and easier to maintain. Still, though, it's a handful. And so Mary and me and I discussed this, and of course, who knows? It's easy to have a weak moment and break your rules, but we decided we're going to wait till Jeffrey is 10 years old. When he's a 10-year-old cat, then perhaps we will get him a kitten to keep his ass moving. And then we'll have 2. So we'll stagger him every 10 years. We'll be staggering in 10 years. Ooh, yeah, they're so smart. They're like smart as like a genius 3-year-old, I think. And you know what really surprises me about cats is how expressive they are. Once you learn to read their face, especially if you have one with a face you can see. I know it's like the dark cats, it's harder to see their face expressions. Although if you owned one, you'd probably key right into it and develop that eye. But Jeffrey's got a nice orange face, so it's easy to see him. And their face gives away their innermost thoughts. They wear it on their shirt sleeves. You can read their face just like a human being. It's like moment to moment, the subtleties of their thoughts and moods, and whether they're joking with you, whether they're whatever. Fascinating animals. Well, thank you. appreciate the compliment on Jeffrey's handsomeness. Your cats are lovely little creatures as well. I saw some pictures of them. Beautiful little things. I've always been, I grew up being a dog person, so a lot of things, I developed a loyalty to, and I became, unknowingly or knowingly, I became snobbish. Like I was a dog snob. I thought you can't beat a dog, Well, you can beat a dog, but now they come to your door. You know what I mean, though. You can't top a dog. But cats really, it's apples and oranges. It's like Oscar Peterson and Art Tatum and Bill Evans and Errol Garner. You just can't say one's better than the other. Well, you could, but they're all, great in their own. I'm a sentimental. Nothing's worse than hearing people talk about their cats. Actually, there is. When people make you look at their vacation pictures, I hate that even more. Now I don't mind looking at people's cats. I guess it's like being a parent. You hate looking at people's kids unless you've got kids, but until you get really old like me, and then you don't mind looking at their kids. Unless their kids are really ugly, and then they make you look at them. And let's not pretend there's ugly kids, right? I mean, you can't have beauty without ugly, because it's a relative thing, right? You can't have up without down. Sounds like a song. You can't have up, unless you're down. Oh, you can't hiccup when you've got a frown. You can't have in without out. Ooh, now get the hell out. I'm a sentimental. Oh, I'm a sap, that's all. What's the use of trying? No, not too far. Ooh, I have the will. You made your kill on account of you took advantage of me. I'm Monkey Apple on a bough, and you're gonna shake me down somehow. Oh, what's the use? Oh, you cooked my goose or turkey, 'cause you took advantage of me. I'm so hot and bothered that I don't know my elbow from my ear. Suffer something awful each time you go, much worse when you're near. Here I am with all my bridges burned, just a babe in arms where you're concerned. So lock the doors and call me yours, 'cause you took advantage of me. Oh yeah. Ooh, you took advantage of me. From Present Arms, Rogers and Hart, our favorites around here. That's the best way, is that when they find you. Hamster, that's deep. Freddy and Freeloader. Wow, a hamster that can live with 3 cats. That's one clever hamster. I know how that hamster feels. You know, when I grew up, I was a child when I grew up, first of all. Not that that needs explaining, but I was smaller. You know how, like, right now I look fantastic for my age? I'm 102. I've always looked younger than my age by quite a chunk, like a third off my age, you know. So when I was growing up, I was small. And like that hamster. So you learn survival skills using your mouth instead of, you know, your long limbs. So that, you know, I can relate to that hamster. Now that I'm big and tough, I relate to the cats. The world is my prey. Reverse dog years. I never thought of that, Gaia. What do you think of that, Gaia? Gaia's here, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see her tonight. I'm giving thanks for Gaia. She taught my heart to sing. I've never heard of this song. You taught my heart to sing. Is that a good song? I won't risk destroying it and ruining your Thanksgiving Eve. You make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring has sprung. And every time I see you grin, such a happy individual, the moment that you speak, I wanna go play hide and seek. I wanna go and bounce the moon just like a toy balloon. You and I, just like a couple of tots, running across the meadow, picking up lots of forget-me-nots. You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to sung, bells to be rung, and wonderful things to be flung. Oh yeah, and when I'm old and gray, I'm gonna feel the way I do today, 'cause you make me feel so young. Ooh, so young. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh man, chocolate raspberry steam pressed coffee. Ooh, you stinker. That sounds so good. Sounds fantastic. I can taste it. I can smell it. Actually, what I'm smelling is hot dogs. I was selling hot dogs out here this week, and trying out my new hot dog business. It's called Buffalo Hot Dog. The website, in case you're curious, it's buffalohotdog.com. There's not much up there, but that's the site for future reference. But anyway, I was cooking them out here, and I had the front doors open because, for one reason, my front door closer is acting up, and I got to replace it or fix it. So I didn't want to give it too many duty cycles. So I left the doors open the whole time. And the smoke, the way the air was coming off the lake. Maybe I guess it'll always do that. The air blows in the front doors. I usually don't have them open. So all the charcoal grilling was coming in here, you know. So I get done, I clean up and put everything away and come in the building here to the Lounge Academy mansion. It smelled like a real hot dog restaurant, like it was in here, you know. I think it still does. I kind of like it. It's kind of a nice smell. It smells a lot like chocolate raspberry steam pressed coffee. You are too beautiful, my dear, to be true, and I am a fool for beauty, fooled by the feeling, 'cause I had found you, I could have bound you too. You are too beautiful for one man alone, one lucky fool to be with, when there are other men with eyes of their own to see with. Love does not stand sharing, not if one cares. Have you been comparing my every kiss with theirs? If on the other hand I'm faithful to you, it's not through a sense of duty. You are so beautiful, and I am a fool for thank you, Guy. I'm looking forward to it. I know you will. You're a reliable patron of all our foolishness down here. So I am not surprised that you will show up and chow down some dogs and hang out in what has been christened Steve Seashon Park. And we'll do some live streaming so Mr. London can be part of it virtually. He's going to be in charge of our vegan department. I've got a vegan department already, like, in its nascent stages. I got a little relish tray. I keep adding little, it's fun. Every time I open, I add a few, like, tools and procedures. Because I like the industrial engineering to food service. You know, the economy of motion. Mainly because I'm lazy. Though I know that we meet here every night at Lounge Academy, and we couldn't have changed since the last time, the joy and delight, it's a new kind of love at first sight. Though it's you and it's I all the time, every meeting's a marvelous pastime. You're increasingly sweet, so whenever we happen to meet, I greet you. With a song in my heart, I behold your adorable face. Just a song at the start, but it soon is a hymn to your grace. When the music swells, I'm touching your hand. It tells me you're standing near, and at the sound of your voice, heaven opens its portals to me. Can't I help but rejoice that a song such as ours came to be? What I always knew, I would live life through with a song in my heart for you. Oh yeah. Rodgers and Hart. Their songs, their songs are so varied. If you look for clues, you can identify them as a Rodgers and Hart song. One of the clues Jackie Jocko told me is to look for a scale, like a diatonic scale, hidden in the song somewhere. Does this one have one? It's probably the exception that proves the rule. I don't see one. Well, see, there you go. But that's one way. It's pretty reliable. Well, Mr. London and Gaia and all the people of the future watching is a rerun. We had rhythm sections drop over, and I used to leave the drums up. But as the format changed around and we went live, I took the drums out for two reasons. I needed the space, and also, everyone's a freaking drummer, right? I mean, what is it about it? If there's a trombone sitting there because Phil came by or somebody, right? Somebody wouldn't walk over and pick up the trombone and start saying, I'm a trombonist, and just start playing. But if you got a drum kit, everybody's a drummer, You can't get them to stay away from the drums. So, and if you're doing live, it's really, you can't have that. So, of course, since that time, I've become more belligerent in my personality as far as being able to, bark at people when needed to maintain order. So I'll bring them back. There's nobody here anyway, but the drums were fun, and some great bass players were regulars, and I do miss that, playing with a trio. Took me a long time to be able to really do it. My time was never steady and everything, and it finally came together, where now I don't worry about it. It's a blast. I just let them worry about it. Just watch my left hand. Figure out where I'm going harmonically. That's the problem when you do solo and then you go to a rhythm, a bass player, is that sometimes they want to know what song you're playing. But they can watch you. Well, the trick is, Mr. London, you put the bass player where they can see your left hand. And they're good. They know what's going on. They look at that. They just follow you. Yeah, oh yeah, and there will be again, Gaia. Heck, everybody who stopped by was a musician. I even liked, speaking of amateurs getting on the drums, I even liked getting on the drums and being annoying when other people were playing. But I think I got, kind of, amateur competent. Enough to be able to not be obnoxious with it. The thing is, you just got to keep time. Know some of the basics. Keep time, and and you're fine. Yeah, the brushes. I used to leave the brushes out and hide the sticks because, the great drummers can play, they can play very soft even with sticks. But in a room like this, and for the format we've got, where you're doing, the idea is that people can talk. I do not mic the piano for the room through a PA or anything. The only thing going through the PA is a vocal mic. So you want to keep the levels down to keep the piano bar thing going. All right, I better run home to the wife and cat for our Thanksgiving rehearsal dinner this evening. Yeah, brushes are great. They're fun. I'm gonna bring that out. I miss it. I gotta practice it, and I can't wait until such time in the hopefully near future when we reopen Lounge Academy. I can't wait that long. I'm gonna set them up, and I'm gonna show you, Mr. London, how Gaia has seen me do this. I'm sure. I play the drums and the piano at the same time, okay, and sing, and pick my nose. So. I'm gonna pull the next show. I might be a little rusty at it. I'll practice. Good night, everybody. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Remember, it's an unusual Thanksgiving. So like in all other respects of this crazy year, we must thrive in chaos. That is the theme. Do better than ever. Find the ways. When things are this nuts and unprecedented, it's new opportunities, right? Because the game board has been flipped in the chaos. All those pieces are flying up in the air, and you could grab your pieces from the other players that seem to be, have all the pieces and have everything all figured out. All the rules have changed, so you might figure out the next thing that everyone else likes and uses because it's all new rules. So, thrive in chaos. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching me rehearse and encouraging me.